on a channel about well, I'm gonna tell you here about this man that wants to go to Ukraine, and these men, these black men that want to go and fight in Ukraine, and I'm going to give my opinion why that's not a very good idea, because I showed videos of on other channels that there were skinheads and white separatists that's in these groups. Now, here's the issue, because some people don't know what is, these guys, in the past people would say these guys are full of, they're just full of hot air and blah blah this and blah blah that, and that they're just talking to be talking. They're not to be taken serious. Just ignore them, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna show you some cases of why you can't ignore somebody who has caused harm. They have attacked immigrants. They have attacked people that were Muslims. They have attacked people that were Jews. They would attack people that were black. They would attack people that were LGBT. And if you was with one, if they would see an interracial couple, they would probably attack them. If you particularly a white man with a black woman, a black man with a white woman, and because they feel that that's turned on the race. So I'm going to show you some cases here that it is going to be shocking, and why it's not a good idea when you have these people that's in Ukraine that they're carrying the same ideology of Hitler. Okay, they got the same ideology in Hitler. Wherever you see separatists, skinheads, or something like that, they have this. They want their nation white nation, white only, blonde hair, blue. They telling you this stuff. So you don't believe me? So I'm gonna give you an example in America and where this inspired from. Hold on. We're gonna go case by case, because some people don't. The case by case. This Hara, short for race holy war, tapped across his forehead. This is a Gothic script. Skin Garfalo. Because some people think that this is some kind of. So you got people that's. In fact, this guy was a former member of the Latin King, who's going to be King Shaggy. This is a trick. So he was a Latin king that turned into a Nazi. He was a king, a Latino, a Hispanic. Because Latin kings is a Hispanic gang. So he decides to get with holy war on his. And you got people in Ukraine that probably got stuff marked on their body. They got it marked on his back. But in America, neo-Nazi church creator. This gives his background. Eric Butcher Fairborn. It's a social club. This stuff been going on since the 90s here. They're in a rock band, and they have political views. Because people think that this is some stuff. David Fettler. These are American skinheads. some of these people are in prison. As a black man, would you want to be fighting along with the Ukrainian blonde hair, blue eye? Do you think that why would you want to run beside somebody who's a Nazi, who oppose your woman, and you got these people with tattoos on their body? Why would you want to go on a fight in the war? But I'm gonna show you the men that want to go fight in this war. But I gotta show you this. This thing is called Randall Lee Krager. He's been a skinhead since came into subculture in 1989, and he attacked Portland. This is what they do. They attack people. They jump on people. They call it Aryan resistance. He was up under this Tom Mesker. I remember hearing this back in the 90s. They murdered a black man in Portland. And once he was sentenced to jail, he called a Jewish person an effing Jew. But yet, you have over in Ukraine, their president has a Jewish name. Check this out. In 1987, 6 members of the Chicago skinhead Cash was one of the first racist skinhead gangs formed in the United States. They busted an apartment of a 20-year-old woman who quit the gang, and Cash skinheads suspected of having black friends. One inside that the racist skinheads, including Cash member Mark Mattel, who then 26, pistol whipped the former skin bird, sprayed mace in her eyes, and painted a swastika and race traitor on her wall with her blood. They have vandalized synagogues and Jewish businesses. Skinheads. This is American skinheads. Now, you probably wonder what would motivate these people. They have a book, and with people like your Timmy McVeigh, your Dylan Roos, he's probably seen this book. I'm going to show you a book called The Turner Diaries. Okay? The Turner Diaries is basically a apocalyptic fictional book, but they took notes. Your Timmy McVeigh took notes. The Oklahoma City bomber and others took notes from this thing called the Turner Diaries. The Turner Diaries based on this. They believe this is a story of it right here. Oh, let me see if I can. You have to show the reality of how serious this stuff is. Because these guys are just blowing up with smoke. These guys are serious. These guys have murdered. This is why Putin wants to make an example out of them in Russia, in Ukraine. Because they got some of these people with this mentality. I'm not saying that there's none on the Russian side, but still, this is something between them. Anyway, it is 1991, 8 before the new era of American society. Crime was skyrocketing, roving gangs of blacks and other non-whites raped and pillaged nearly all the white. Inflation soars and the standard of living drops dramatically. Gasoline is scarce. 2 years later, the Cohen Act outlawed private ownership of firearms in the United States and enforced the ban. Jewish-run human rights groups employ gangs of blacks to invade homes of whites and confiscate their firearms, and brutally arrest and imprison guilty parties. 800, blah 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 blah. And the 30, all this time to work on this 4-person unit. This tells you the history. Now this is where it comes from. If the white nations of the world had not allowed themselves, this is what they believe, subject to the Jewish ideas, to the Jewish spirit, this war would not be necessary. We would hardly consider ourselves. We say we had no choice but to avoid the Jewish snare. They believe this stuff. This is where this Hitler stuff coming at. From your white separatists. You have white separatists and skinheads. This has a background here. So they give a story of it. And they use words like this. They call it the Aryan Republic of Army. And they committed like bank robberies between 92 and 96, signing the inspiration of the Turner Diaries. Also, this is what Timmy McVeigh, who bombed the memorial building in Oklahoma that killed 160 and wounded 500 people. But this book inspired the most American terrorists due to skinhead ideology, white ideology, they called it. So I'm going to tell you the reason why it's so bad. Probably wrong. And that's why American skinheads need to go over there and fight, because there are skinheads who are like the same ideology as Hitler. So this is not your fight, black man, or any other man. This is not your fight. And Putin is trying to deal with the skinheads. This is what this really is about. But they have brothers in other countries that have the same ideology. So when you're a black man and you want to do this, I'm going to show you, play this video. You're fighting along this. I'm going to let you hear this story.
Honey latte.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, it's hacked. It's easy to be unsafe.
Mom, what's your 401k number?
Now it's easy to help protect
Fair
yourself.
use.
Opt in to cyber safety.
Cool, this is a teaching moment.
Cybersafe.
Pretty much everybody saw this video.
A 62-year-old Detroit man is preparing to travel to Ukraine to fight. Victor Williams spoke to him today. Victor, does he have ties then to Ukraine?
Yeah,
yes, he does have some ties, but he wants everyone to know that he is not a warmonger. He's just going to help the people that really need it right now.
All of Ukraine is a war zone, so to speak. So I'm going there to kind of help the Ukrainians defend their homeland.
Detroiter Dr. M. Dejan Johnson says in just a few days he'll be on the front lines fighting the war against Russia. So far, he's already ordered a Kevlar helmet
and flak jacket and all the other necessities.
This Wednesday, the 62-year-old will be flying to Amsterdam and then to Poland. From there, he plans to travel to Ukraine and immediately join the battle.
I get real-time information from Ukraine, from my contact.
I'm start right here. Now, I'm going to show you on one of the videos what's over there in Ukraine. This is
States. But the violence inspired by those Ukrainian neo-Nazis was only just getting started. March 15, 2019, white supremacist Brenton Tarrant carried out the Christchurch massacre in New Zealand, in which he slaughtered 51 people. As it turned out, just 4 years earlier, Tarrant had gone to Ukraine. Now, while detailed reports of what Tarrant was doing there are not known, what is known is that the New Zealand government admitted he had made contact with a number of right-wing groups, not just one, a number of them. Few in the white media thought to connect Tarrant's horrific act to Ukraine at the time, and you don't see anybody discussing it now. Tarrant even wore a black sun patch on his clothing. It's a symbol popular among white supremacists worldwide, Ukrainian neo-Nazis.
now this is we gonna fight along.
There you go.
Was in contact with a number of U.S. soldiers who had. For years, Jared Smith had already been in contact with another American soldier, Craig Lang, who acted as Smith's mentor. Lang had already traveled to Ukraine, and when he got there, he joined the right sector. And this Lang character is an interesting one, too. According to court documents in 2017, while in Ukraine, Lang had met another Army veteran, Alex Ziefelhofer, and both of them fought for right sector. In June 2017, Lang and Ziefelhofer went to Kenya because they claimed they wanted to fight the Al-Qaeda-linked group Al-Shabaab. They only got as far as South Sudan before they were sent back to the U.S. But I think we all know that their real purpose wasn't going to Africa.
Yeah.
They wanted to get in some practice killing black people. They were tired of just killing.
Get this now. This man wants to go and fight along.
And they're really, really suffering.
These small acts of kindness
Members prayed for him at Church of the King in downtown Berkeley.
now perfect the things that are imperfect in him, Father. And Father, we know that he is your child in the name of Jesus. We thank you for the opportunity that he has to go and to do what you call him to in Jesus' name.
Some Ukrainians even showed their gratitude. Pastor Tal Sullivan says their prayer requests are simple.
We're praying for protection and God's provision, and we're inviting God to come and use them as he wants.
Dr. Johnson has a military background serving with the Army. He also already spent 2 years in Ukraine working at a university.
My job from 2018 to 2020 was to train university professors and graduate students on bringing transparency and democracy to the classroom. Who would have figured I would be putting that into practice? I don't plan on coming back with a blue and yellow tag over a box, so I'm coming back here and hopefully make it better like we.
Again, the house.
Now, he's a man who's going to go fight alongside in the military. ain't go over there. Even the U.S. military not invading yet.
Hello, James here. I want to show you in here and play some of it and let the art and partners up. This is going to make sure that it doesn't violate YouTube's policies. So this is for fair use, copyright fair use for teaching only. And those of you who mainly, they're from who are black and brown and what considered who are non-white, you need to listen to this video. And you ever notice when you look on what they call football teams, European youth football leagues, there's some people over there that, and so when a black player or what they consider a black player or African player, they start throwing bananas at them, they start doing certain things, monkey noises and call him out his name when he don't reach to the approval. Then when you go over to certain parts and places like these countries and certain ones in Eastern Europe, if you're a migrant, then you're going to come across some young men would jump on young white male jump on you
because you're taking their territory. And then sometimes it ends up being beat up, maimed, paralyzed to death. I made this especially to the ones, and certain ones like the ones that want to go over there, like certain ones like the Nigerians. I want, if they ever listen to this video, I want you to hear what this man just found out on his report.
It was a lot of healing, a lot of testimonial things going on in that stream, and it was very perfect. And that's the type of stuff I put for my members. Those are the type in-depth, deep lessons that I reserve for those who really want this work, really want to follow this work. So consider becoming a member, and also consider following me on Patreon. We'll move on to this next video here. Let's talk about Vladimir Zelensky, the role of his life. I believe this is 60 minutes. Yeah, 60 minutes.
Sorry about the interruption.
Ultranationalists have been exporting their own brand of white extremism to the four corners of the planet with lethal results. Now, the most prominent of the Ukrainian neo-Nazi groups is the so-called Azov organization, which we'll call the Azov Regiment for the sake of this discussion. Now, Azov has entire businesses and social groups that they run. They've got their own online services,
James here.
as well as summer camps.
I want to show you this video in here and play some of it and let the art and partners up. This is going to make sure that it doesn't violate YouTube's policies. So this is for fair use, copyright fair use for teaching only. And those of you who mainly, they're from who are black and brown and what considered who are non-European, when a black player or cases of being beat up, maimed, paralyzed, or deaf.
So basically, hopefully, sorry about the buffering. I must have done something. Hold on.
This I made this especially to the ones, the certain ones like the ones that want to go over there, like certain ones like the Nigerians. I want they will listen to this video. I want you to hear what this man just found out on this report. I just hear this video. Here it is. I'm gonna cut.
That doesn't change the Nazi liberators' voices in the Soviets and the United States. All the eyes of the world are on Ukraine right now, particularly the Ukrainian army. But this isn't the first time the Ukrainian army's been in a spotlight. The difference being that up until 10 days ago, practically all the soldiers of the Ukrainian army have been negative. In fact, there had been, up until 10 days ago, a consistent media narrative about Ukrainian generals. National core. So you see, Azov is well connected and being so for a long time before it.
Now, this is in Ukraine. This is their symbolicism. Same thing you see in America, you see in Ukraine.
Tell your Nigerian fellow, man, this is what they're going with. You protect it, run alongside of it.
They're called right sector. In English, it means right sector. And just like the Azov regiment, right sector is also suspected in a number of assaults and murders, often of pro-Russian actors in Ukraine. And like the cancer they are, right sector has metastasized, spreading to other countries like France, the United States, and as far as Brazil, which has its own Nazi subculture.
It's in Brazil. That's Brazilians. Brazil got one. A nationalist group. Skinheads.
I would tell everybody to get into the habit of watching world news. American news is pukaki. It's fake, I tell you, fake. So you're doing yourself a horrendous obstruction by inundating yourself with American news.
Sorry about that. But yeah, get back to me. Now, by seeing those flags, that means this is a white man's war. It's a white nationalist war, and you have to understand that it's a bad idea, because if that man goes over there, he might be put on the front line and he might have an accidental front fire, and he will have no backup from the U.S. military. And then Ukrainians, you might have some that might have his back, but somebody might jump him because they protected him, and jump on. And it might be one or two good Ukrainian people over there that they might mean well, but what if you come across someone that's not? That's in the military. That's in the police. Then you might have some separatists on the Russian side that they're fighting. And you get one of them Chechen fighters, which is one of the worst time they fight. And from what I heard, there's some bad suckers there. And he's 62 years old. These men, they fight in the cold. They fight in extreme temperatures. You can't hang with that. You can't hang with these people. If you want to do something for the Ukrainian people, send your prayers, send your answer. I can understand if you were going over there to help out in the hospitals, help out assisting. That's what he needs to do. He don't need to be getting on the front line. No American man, especially no black man, need to be going over and fighting in the war, which is nationalists and skinheads. In my video, there was an American guy that was a skinhead that went to go join the fight with the Ukrainians. Ukraine deal with stuff over there. I can respect that because he got with the ones over there, and they come with the common ideology up under Hitler. Why would you want to go fight with somebody whose ideology is against? We want to be the so-called master race, and then you see it's blatantly it's a fight between two countries, and it's on both sides of the track because Russia's got separatists too, and I went down to some Russian skinheads is in it. Why would you want to go fight for these people? Why? And let me tell you something, black man. I said they see you over talking to their women. They probably jump on you. They probably they catch you alone. You know what I'm saying? They the type will probably kill you and say, well, it was friendly fire. And there was one black man that his wife, she was Ukrainian, and so he's risking his life to go over there, to go fight along with some people that would told black people and Africans and anybody that looked African to get off the bus. No blacks. There were women, children, and dogs and cats. And there's been many video which the mainstream media don't even want to tell you that they was the ones that been put off the bus. It's all over. They're not telling you. They're not telling you this. Why would you want to go and fight? This is what was told here in America. This is what the nationalists. That's why they show up in Charlottesville and they just come down in the vent and things like that. You have your Dylan Roos and different individuals like that running the country, and they act out what they do. They need to go. These ones that want to be like Dylan Roos and want to be with swastikas and things like that, and they want to get a race war going. Well, hell, why don't you go? The ones, the rest of them need to go over to them. Let them deal. If they want to so-called die for their ideology of white man, white woman, and everybody else, whatever else can go to hell. Let them go and die for what they do. At least I guess to a certain degree. At least with some of them terrorists that's in certain parts of the Middle East, they die for what they do. See, if you're gonna make bombs and shit and jump on innocent people because of their religion or sexual orientation or the pigment of the skin, I think that they need to be the first ones to go over there. That's my personal opinion. And that's what they do over there. When you over in the places like Ukraine and in little countries like, they got skinheads in Germany, they got skinheads in Brazil, they got skinheads in Portugal, different places. Why would you want to go and put yourself in danger? Why would you do that? Why don't you just be happy and let them deal? And the ones that want to have all that violence and smoke and they want to die for whatever, let them air it out. And then two, most of the Ukrainian people are up out of there anyway. Most of them getting up out of there, and it's more going to be getting up out of there too. The civilians, some of the men, women, and children going to fight, and there's some men that going and when they choose to fight, they choose to fight for their reason. Again, it's a European. It's like technically it's like an Eastern European country. Again, they tell, and you have all these different groups of people that go over there, and It's for their pride, their country. They look out for their people first. They got their people on the bus first. The Indians, the Africans, the other people had to get in the backyard and make sure that and the Africans had to get up and walk. And they put the Indians and the Africans out there in the freezing weather. Women too. And they didn't care. They separated them by nation. Only ones that they finally got, they had to get a ride from some of the country people that got certain different nations that come out there. And my question is to Nigeria: do you understand what you send soldiers into? They're gonna put you as the front barrier, okay? And I don't know if the Nigerian forces have ever dealt with people they fight in the cold. They fight extreme temperatures and stuff like that. So you want to so these volunteers. So this is what they're gonna get into. Then you got certain different groups that are gonna fight. They specialize in killing different ways. So from what it was this one man. This is like 60 Chechen fighters that's gonna fight alongside the Russian soldiers. That Vladimir Putin is coming. Then they got other international fighters that's gonna fight alongside not against Putin. They fight with Putin to go up against the Ukrainian soldiers and these other nations. And so this 60 deal, these fools want to go over there, want to put their neck on the line, and cause they choose to go over there and fight among people who are separatists that are skinheads that's on the Ukrainian military. And I showed you there's some groups are in the police and the military. Then this is the crazy part. The Ukrainian president is Jewish. He's Jewish. I don't get it, but that tells you something right there. Something isn't right. But people just want to go on over there and fight with somebody that literally mistreat your people that's come over here. Now the people that came from different parts of Africa, these was not your typical, well, we just gonna dump them, these your field laborers or something like that. These were students. These were high intelligent, smart Africans, like Indians are to go to medical school, and they sent them send the best to go over there to go study and learn and probably contribute something while they picking up their trade, and then come back, and go to different other in Western countries and help out. They didn't care about that. They don't care because in their ideology, and people, there are a good portion of people, and it just don't make no sense. Who should be going over there? Their fellow neighbors. The Poland, if they got one, Romania, if they got some soldiers, and the other one, Bulgaria, and all the other Eastern European countries need to back up Ukraine. They need to back up Ukraine. Well, because that's their fight. That's their, they all have a similar, their language. Lithuanian, all they want, if they want to get up in there, and if they got nationalists in their group or skinheads in their group, why don't they link up together and along with them German skinheads, why don't they go help out their fellow white separatists and nationalists? Because they want to maintain a white nation, right? And they want their white brothers and sisters to die, right? Black, white women, white children, white males. So my thing is, they should go out and fight. And I don't see why this black man need to get in the midst of it. He's being manipulated and used, and he's gonna come back to casualties. I'm serious, and there's no U.S. military backing this operation up. They stand in the background. They gonna supply. They wait. They ain't got to go to fight. They right at the borderline. He gonna go in there. No U.S. military. U.S. military or NATO allies to go in there and fight. Now, what sense do that make? that you ain't got no backup. It's just you take your chance, put yourself on the line with half the military, whoever you fight, and you gotta worry about putting yourself in the line with somebody who's racist next to a black man who a racist ideology skinhead from Ukraine, like they do, like I showed you, like America do. They whatever they say N-word in Ukraine. And other, you're an immigrant. You're lower income. Why would you want to fight with somebody like this? This is their war. This is because they've been wanting this. So it's up to them. But they thought it was going to be on another race of people. They've been wanting this race war. They've been causing, and some do little cause stuff. So what they do is that they get mad because they start making conspiracies that a certain religion, like basically Jewish people, or they're gonna war against them. I mean, it's crazy. They start, so they go against them. They gotta go against these other groups. So the other groups come on in, and they get this inferior. So we can hit them, put them in fear, hospitalize them, maim them. When they out drinking at nighttime, whatever, and you going out to their bar and they jump on you, whatever, they jump on one of y'all, or if they have to be someone walking down the street, you and your girlfriend or brother or sister, whatever. This is what they do, and they cut people up, slice people up, and you want to go over and fight alongside them? Is you crazy? I mean, hey, I get it. You want to help the Ukrainian people, you send your donations, you send your prayers. If you feel that compassion, or if you would go over there, go help them out on the border in Poland. Go help them. But you don't need to. You'd be fool to go over there, and anybody else would be fool to go over there. You gonna fight with these men who are in the service, because you gotta be fit. They fight in that all weather terrain. You see, they train hard in rough conditions and stuff. This ain't your typical. They all fight the special forces. They out there fighting all different types of weather and everything. Why in the hell would you think you at 62 years old, that man gonna try to hang with somebody in a 19, 20-year-old, 30-something-year-old man who got half the strength, and they know how to kill and destroy. Then that's on the ground. Then you get caught with a missile. Some don't even fight on the ground, but the Russians setting up bombs and tanks. Why anyone going to something like that?
And I what's going on. This warfare, warfare, bodies of warfare. You got people that need you. You got your family, and it's not fair to your family, your friends, or whatever. Why would you want to decide? That's kind of selfish. That's not even wisdom from God, because God would have you go over and put yourself in. I mean, some people need to really logically think about it. If I was maybe 19, 20 and I was in service, I would have no choice. I'm 50-some years old. What the fuck? What the hell I look going over there? Over into another man's war, taking my chance being a casualty because I don't have no military backing me up. No military is back whatsoever from U.S. Please make sense of that. But anyway, I just wanted to go back and show you guys that these people are serious, and these skinheads and stuff like that, these white nationalists, that's what they do. They jump in packs, they attack in packs, and it's the same way all over. I've seen cases after cases how different individuals in other countries they would knife and stab someone who was an African or Indian or Arab person. Whether they were traditionally Muslim, some jumped on Jewish people, pushed Jewish people around. They don't care, and don't be gay.
and LGBTQ, they definitely will hem them up. They're really in danger. You have, oh yeah, they gotta tell you about that, because this transgenders and LGBTQ people are right in the middle of that war. They're finding out they're gonna do something to them, and so they stuck there. So what? So you know you got this extremism going on, and then this is a war. This is intense warfare. So that's these, you know, it's dumb. I ain't no way I'm gonna go fight in another man's war. Then risk fight alongside some people who fight alongside who got Nazi tattoos, Nazi white nationalist propaganda, basically saying people that look like me and other people need to be wiped off the planet. And if we don't, then we're going to attack the government because they're protecting you. And you going over there. And like I said, this is their war. This is a white nationalist war. It's like brother and brother. Same principle that was here in America. But we had no choice but to fight, because it was, you know, slaves were here, Indians and other people were here, so they had to pick up arms and fight, you know, for different political reasons. But this was on the war front. You still got a war on war front. So why are you trying to solve another person's problems when they have enough allies over there to back pull Ukraine up? They got some other people that would come in with them. You see how fast they welcome them in Poland and other places, because that's the European brother. Even though they speak a similar, different language, they would have them than these other people that come from Syria and Africa. Which a good percentage of them do, and that's why they tell when them Syrians and them Africans and other people, Afghans, they told them people to keep on going. Because that white nation, and even in war, and not saying that everybody is like that over there, but you got all these nationalists because they feel that if they take up residence there, that you taking something, the government gonna give them something, then you taking something away when they have a high employment rate, and that's what produced all these skinheads, all these other nationalist groups, and they start attacking these people. Same they do so in America, like they do over the rest of Europe. Same, what they say is tyranny is all. I don't call it white supremacy. I call it white tyranny, because that's what it is. So this man gonna fight alongside people that look. I mean, I'm giving you an example of skinheads. You gonna fight alongside this. So this is just an example. Some people that look like this, look like him in Ukraine. If he's in jail, he probably get off. He wouldn't do that much time here. You fight alongside, and it's fight alongside people that look like this, with tattoos on this man's neck. Please make it make sense. Please tell me. Alongside people that look like this guy got murdered on his neck. Please make sense. And you want to go. This guy's a head. He want to let kings. Please make it make sense. Please. It don't make no sense. Stay home and worry about your own fight. If all these ones and that's what they do. They got this rock band. Hey, they got all this anger and they got songs that they gonna conquer the nation and they get all this thing. They get pumped up with
whatever alcohol and drugs, let them go over there, deal with, and get along with their brothers who they worship Hitler. Who's been dead for over 70 something years, take his ideology that offered a book called The Turner Diaries and go conquer them. I like to say, give them a plane ticket and send them over there, along with the ones that's already probably in the U.S. military, and let them fight. That would make sense, because because why would you, since the war, because really the war and the other races wouldn't be harmed, because ain't no excuse, ain't no other races going against you except the Russians and some of them people who are Chechnya, who was up under the Islamic group. You deal with them, they know how to handle, because they see you can deal with some ones that you want to cut up and cut and like that. They'll knife you over there. They don't play over there. From what I said, the Chechens, they say they some assassins. So they bad, and everybody want to have guns and military and fight, and hey, that's, if you want to get out of your anger and aggression, these skinheads want to go over there. Why don't they go over there and fight? And go fight these Chechens, and they'll help secure their ideology and their prophet, the Hitler, that come back. Let them go on with that mess. But ain't no black man need to go over there, and no other man, brown man. Even I don't suggest if you even LGBTQ not to fight this war, because this is serious. These people will kill you, and they'll kill you in friendly fire. You get killed in friendly fire, and I mean, and his closest friends is going to be hurt and everything, but that'd be stupid when it's a military operation. That's what I'm saying. You can't. Just because I will, let's say, join the militia. It's a whole big difference between joining the militia and training and having actual military training. that do all different types of things and prepare for war. When you're in some militia, you prepare for training, survival local training. I mean, it's a similar training, but with military training, it's the step up. It's fighting and hand combat, gunshots and everything. And it's stressful. War is a whole different world in war. People, people don't have an understanding. And psychologically, you got people got bombs and bullets flying over your head and stuff like the explosions, knocking out your hearing. That man's he's up in age. Come on, man. I mean, that don't make no sense. Why would you want to go fight another man's war? That's all what I'm saying. It doesn't make no sense. And I get it. You come across some really friendly people in Ukraine. I get it. You know what I'm saying? All you could do is pray for them. Then they put these people out. I'm going to this man. They wanted this man to fight. He said, "Hell no. He's a Congolese man." And so you're going to go over there as a black man, and here you have the discriminating medical students now flee and facing discrimination.
Or a home mattress for French fries.
So you can get 5 more mattresses.
According to the FBI, domestic terrorists killed 39 people in fiscal year 2019, making it the most deadly year for domestic terrorism since the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing.
The threat of white nationalism has evolved since Oklahoma City, where a domestic terrorist used a truck bomb to kill at least 168 people. Police don't tend to see such terrorists as lone wolves acting in isolation anymore. It's become clear to law enforcement that these attackers often have links to a global network, one with common goals and a shared ideology.
We are looking very hard at white supremacists or neo-Nazis here, connecting through social media online with like-minded individuals overseas.
You hear that? Like-minded individuals.
Actually traveling overseas to train.
Over the last few years, experts in violent extremism have grown especially alarmed about the Azov movement. The group emerged from the revolution that swept across Ukraine in 2014, and it has gotten a lot stronger amid the ongoing war with pro-Russian forces in eastern Ukraine. The fighting in that region has become a kind of ideal breeding ground for militias like Azov. At their public events, one thing that surprised me was how many Ukrainians tend to see Azov not as militants or extremists, but as war heroes. In Kiev, the capital, I watched an Independence Day parade where veterans of the Azov battalion marched alongside other volunteer militias, surrounded by cheering crowds, who thanked them for defending Ukraine against Russia. But even at the march, there were signs of the far-right ideology that was so common inside Azov. The symbols on their flags have been especially controversial. Azov says it combines the letters I and N for idea of nation, but extremism experts see it as an emblem of Nazism.
The official symbol of Azov, it's a version of Volksangel. It was one of the symbols of one of SS division during the World War II. It is one of more or less usual symbols for neo-Nazi groups all over the world.
And it's not just about their symbols. When it was founded in 2014, Azov drew many of its commanders and recruits from Ukraine's most notorious far-right
Look, they saluting.
including outright neo-Nazis.
We basically recruited everyone who could hold weapons in their hand when the Ukrainian state was paralyzed and the defense of the Ukrainian state was totally in the hand of Ukrainian volunteers. So there were many war adventurers, guys who believed that they are on a kind of ideological tool to save maybe the future of the West and so on and so forth. So
fair use.
Or, yes.
Azov's paramilitary wing is now a major fighting force, with its own bases and training grounds near the front lines of the war against pro-Russian forces. After the Veterans Parade in Kiev, I interviewed Unkraine, who founded the Azov movement in 2014.
Воинское братство — это люди, которые не просто служили вместе рвали кровь, переживали гибель товарищей, сладость побед, охраны общественного порядка на улице. Мы создаем отряды самообороны, которые помогают поддерживать порядок на улице.
Azov's leaders have also tried to break into politics. They failed to win any seats in parliament during the most recent elections in 2019, but their plans in Ukraine are ambitious.
Сьогодні ми відпочиваємо, але навіть відпочиваючи, ми пропагуємо наші нові українські цінності. Бути сильними і сміливими, бути єдиними і відчувати братерство своєї нації.
What worries officials in the West is Azov's recruitment strategy. It's tried hard to build friendships with far-right groups around the world, especially in the US and Europe. During my visit in 2019, I spent a day at one of the biggest recruitment events in Azov's history. Thousands of people showed up for a day of fighting sports and blatant propaganda. There were neo-Nazi symbols, tattoos, and posters all over the place. And many in the crowd seemed pretty receptive to Azov's far-right ideology.
Бути толерантним про-ЛГБТшникам – це не природне. Для цього треба людині промити мозки. Поважати своїх батьків, любити своїх дітей, пишатися за свою країну – це нормально.
Events like this also tend to attract recruits from abroad. One of the ones I met was named Robin, who had just arrived in Ukraine from Sweden, where she told me he's wanted for hate crimes.
It's so hard to explain the surroundings for someone who's watching this, you know. It's surreal. It's like, I don't know, it's like something you read about the great Germany before, you know, in the 1920s. It's a revival of the Indo-European soul. And it's all happening here in Ukraine.
Afterward, we rode back to neo-Nazis in their organization, I would say look at the U.S. Army, and you would find neo-Nazis as well. Dave is an American expat and U.S. military veteran who's volunteered to help Ukraine's National Guard, and he's met a lot of the recruits who come to join Azov. You only need one of these guys to kind of go home and commit an act of terrorism to then really damage the reputation of Ukraine in the eyes of the world, right? So that's really a risk that Ukraine faces. Do you think they're taking it seriously enough? No, yes. A few weeks later, Robin, a Swede I met at that festival, wrote me that he was going to the front lines to join the fight. With recruits like this, it's little wonder that U.S. officials see Azov as a threat. Experts point out that the pace of white supremacist terrorism has intensified, with new incidents frequently filling the headlines. 22 gunned down at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas, 2 killed near a synagogue in Halle, Germany, 9 more in an attack on 2 shisha bars near Frankfurt, and a series of arrests exposing far-right terror plots across the US and Europe. One tally reported an increase of 320% in such attacks in Western countries between 2014 and 2019.
Я знаю, я вірю, я переконаний, що ми готові до боротьби, що ми готові бути сміливими і сильними, що ми готові перемагати. Бо за нами Україна, а перед нами наша остаточна велика перемога. Слава Україні! Героям слава! Слава нації! Смерть ворогам! Україна!
You see, they're Nazis. Now what does that mean? White nationalist means white, that's what they want. They want their blood. They want purity. Aryan means that they want to be Aryan race, white race. That's what they're telling you. Not everybody else. They want their own people. They don't want mixed in and blended with everybody. Now they will use you if you use some of the groups that decide that any other, you decide that you hate the government, the pro-Russian government, or any Western government, whatever. Now they will use you for that, for their cause, but they want to stay back and make their babies and so-called carry their ideology with them. They want you to fight. And there's another man whose wife who's a black man whose girlfriend or wife who's Ukrainian. He wants to go back and fight, and this is what he's dealing with. Now, will you, as a black man, you think I want to trust somebody to fight along some guys like that, and they jump on different groups of people? Immigrants, you see, Jewish people, Muslims, and other LGBTQ people, and people like that, you go like I'm going to go over there and fight in their land, and then you see the people clapping for them. So like the video was saying, it's pro-Russian, and Vladimir Putin want to deal with them. He's the one that's trying to put them out. So and that one guy who is wanted. He's wanted in his own, in another country for committing hate crimes. This is serious. Why would you want to go and fight again? Why would you want to go and fight in a country that has a white mind ideology of taking other people out and rise rebel against the government? They want the whole thing, and they want to put tyranny and other things on other people, and they attack and they launch attacks here in America and other places in the world. Why would you want to? You think you're going to trust your life with a guy trying to that you such good? Was they already been programmed to see that you're a less inferior person? Because that's what Hitler told them in every language. They got the same mentality. They got the same mentality that the skinheads here in America do. They got the same mentality as the skinheads in Germany do. They got the same mentality that the skinheads in Brazil and other places do. They got the same ideology, which means other races are less here, and they've been like this for the longest time. So I wouldn't go over there if I was that man, because he stepped into a line of fire. No joke. And you going over there like Rambo and shit. Well, it's my duty in my military. Dude, that was 30-something years ago you was in the military. And maybe you done some internship over there. But this is what you're dealing with. This ain't no joke. It's not fair to his family to put his family and friends through that. I'll marry you. And you see people out there, they clapping for these people that are Nazis. Got a Nazi symbolism that they took off of a flag of the time of Hitler back in the 30s. They took his ideology. And it spread over here and other places. So what sense do that make? I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Some people, they just don't, I don't know, they just like, it's like a slave. I like what this one man said. He was a white man. He said back in then, when you seen two slave masters go at it, you stay up out of it. Ukraine is like two mentally like slave masters. They have a disagreement. Why would you want to go fight in something that has skinheads? And work and you have no balance of other people coming in. At the end of the day, some people are butt broken. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, y'all take care. Till next time, be safe and be careful. And if anybody's from Africa and other places, do not go to Ukraine. Do not go over there. Don't volunteer nothing, because that's what I showed you is over there. Thank you. Let me see how this video turned out. Hopefully it turned out good. Hey, come on now. There you go. Come on, baby. Damn. Oh boy. Oh boy.